The Villanova Wildcats are heading to the Final Four.
We're not done yet, partner. We won the regional here at the Boston Garden. We'll see you on the Riverwalk. It's San Antonio time.
Shootaround is heading to the Alamo.
We made it here outside the Alamo, ready to preview the Final Four.
So, is this the start of the show, or?
No, it's a cold open. Remember Boston?
Start of the show. It's a cold open. Like,
it's a cold. Then he goes to the ba-da-ba-ba.
it is absolutely gorgeous here at quite the landmark, built in the 1700s. We are outside the Alamo, getting you ready for Villanova and Kansas. Jay Alter, John Fanta, and Jay, what's the first thing that pops in your head when you think about this showdown?
The Big 12 tournament continues for this Villanova Wildcats team. They beat West Virginia, they beat Texas Tech, and now they get the Big 12 champions in the Kansas Jayhawks. I'll tell you what, it's so funny, you don't know how the brackets will play out, but that you get a third team from the same conference in a row, and it's the team that won the conference. Don't think it could have worked out any better. Villanova ready for the physicality that you get with a Big 12 team.
I think of the 1v1 matchups in this showdown. Jalen Brunson versus Devontae Graham, Omari Spellman versus Udoka Azubuike, and then I'm also fascinated to see Villanova's got two guys at the 2, in Phil Booth or Dante DiVincenzo. But on the other side is arguably the hottest player in the country who's just knocking him down from deep, Malik Newton for Kansas.
I'll tell you, both coaches, Bill Self and Jay Wright, have complimented each other by getting the best out of their team at the right time. There's no argument. Kansas playing the best basketball that they've played all season right now. You saw the performance against Duke. That said it all. And for Villanova, folks, they've beaten every single tournament team by double digits or more. No argument. You're getting two teams playing their best basketball in the Final Four.
Two top 20 teams in three-point shooting. We'll get to more on this matchup, but if you love hoops, this is a basketball purist type Final Four matchup. Two programs that are powerhouses.
It is, and not just the Final Four, but we've been bouncing all over San Antonio from event to event. They're keeping us really busy, so if you're a basketball fan, this is really the best weekend you could ask for. Here in San Antonio, beautiful city, plenty of events, and they kept us really busy. They kicked us off with a little three-point shootout with two Big East participants.
That's right, Marcus Foster is pretty busy, and he was doing it with Andrew Rousey, the Creighton and Marquette standouts, lighting it up from 3. Very cool to see these seniors getting an opportunity to do just that.
It was awesome because the Big East, we've said it all season, it's been known for scoring, offensive efficiency, three-point shooting. And when you think about three-point shooting, you think about Andrew Rousey. So to see him do it on the stage against everybody else, against college basketball, is really cool.
On Friday afternoon, Foster was back out on the court on the East team. Seton Hall's Desi Rodriguez on the West team in the Reese's All-Star game. And this is just another one of these events, as Rodriguez is going to be on the 3-on-3 Big East Hoops team, joined by a couple other stars.
Yeah, Andrew Rousey will also be on that team, and then you've got J.P. McCura from Xavier and Rodney Bullock from Providence. That'll be a really fun contest for those guys.
Let's turn to Villanova, and the Wildcats had fun of their own on Friday.
And that's been a point of emphasis from this Villanova team. We've asked them, are you guys having fun? Well, check out this video. They are certainly having fun at the Fan Fest, getting off the court, having fun in the sun. It's awesome.
Nice rhymes there. I like it. They were having a lot of fun.
They were.
They knocked down some threes. Omari Spellman, I mean, my gosh, he almost broke the rim off that, dunking it. But the Wildcats having some fun there. We have to get to a guy that is not only helping the Wildcats in practice.
Yep.
You don't always see guys like this, but we talk about the importance of walk-ons, what Villanova does in the classroom. Matt Kennedy is a prime example of that, Jay.
Matt Kennedy is Villanova basketball. This is what Jay Wright loves. He always highlights the walk-ons. He calls them the squad guys, gets them so prepared for each and every matchup. And Matt Kennedy winning the Elite 90 award, tremendous GPA, does it on and off the court. Hats off to Matt Kennedy. And John, fun fact of the weekend, Villanova, the best GPA of the 4 teams left in the field.
And Kennedy, again, what does that Elite 90 mean? The highest GPA of any Final Four men's basketball player. That is really cool stuff.
And you talk about the importance of academics. Jalen Brunson graduating in 3 years, winning the Big East Scholar Athlete Award in addition to the Big East Player of the Year. This actually matters to Villanova. It really does. They practice what they preach on the floor in the classroom.
We've talked a little bit about the Villanova-Kansas showdown, but let's hear what the Wildcats have to say about this Final Four clash.
Definitely their physicality. I mean, all 3 of these teams are very physical and very well coached, and they're very good teams. I mean, it feels like we're playing the Big 12 tournament. I mean, it's playing 3 Big 12 opponents, but yeah, they're very good. All these teams are very good, so we definitely have to learn from that. Hopefully, it's just their 3-point shooting. I mean, they're very explosive offense. They do a great job of moving the ball, and we definitely have to worry about that.
It's going to be tough. They have 4 guards that can really shoot it. Devontae Graham gets everybody involved very well. Just trying to make it difficult on them. You know, we see a lot of similarities between them and us. It's the way they shoot the ball, how unselfish they are. Just trying to make it difficult, locate shooters, and just try to do anything to keep their rhythm off.
Both 1 seeds, you play similar. What is going to be the difference in this game?
Just who's tougher, who plays their way the longest. We just have to play Villanova basketball for 40 minutes because we know that they're going to play Jayhawk basketball for 40 minutes.
What did you learn about the previous 2 that you can take into this matchup?
That they're physical, they're big athletes, and they play for 40 minutes. They don't ever give up. We can make runs on a team, and no matter what, they're always going to bounce back.
Everybody locked in on this big man battle between you and Azubuike. What's going to be the difference, and who's going to win the paint?
I'm just going to go out there and compete at the highest level for my teammates and coaches, and try to keep them off the glass and just try to make it as hard as possible for them, getting low post position and just keep moving my feet. As far as who's going to win the battle, we'll find out Saturday.
What specifically do you think has improved over the last couple of weeks to put you guys playing your best basketball at the right time?
I would say just commitment to each other in defense, playing hard together, smart with pride, and defending and rebounding. And that's what we hang our hat on, and that's why we've been having the success we've had, and we've locked in on those things.
The biggest right off the bat would be Amari Spellman. He came along as a freshman, learning to play the 5 spot, was very big for him. We needed him to get better, and he took the challenge of doing that. So he's really made us so much better. And I would say Eric Pascal too. The ability to guard 1 through 5 now. He came in, being able to guard just a 4-man, 3-man. Now he's guarding wings, point guards, and can guard a center as well too. So those 2 progression as players has made us a lot better of a team.
Yeah, we never get down. No matter what happens, they can make runs. And, Coach does a great job with us, keeping us mentally tough and mentally strong. So we just go out there, attitude, something happens, just keep playing our way, nothing changes. And, we just don't stop, we don't quit, and that's what I love about this team. We're going to fight to the end. No matter if we're down 10 with a minute left, we're going to keep fighting and just keep battling to the end.
And obviously the guys laser focused on that Final Four matchup, but the weekend actually got started with Jalen Brunson, the Villanova superstar, winning the National Player of the Year award. Take a look at what he and head coach Jay Wright had to say about the honor.
It's really humbling, and it's something that I can't really put into words. It's to know the great players that have won this award, and just to be named in the same breath as that. It's really honoring, and it's something I'm going to cherish forever.
I knew you had to be a really good player to win this award, but when you hear Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and I really believe Jalen belongs in that category. He has been the consummate Villanova student athlete. He came with a plan to graduate in 3 years. He came with a plan to win a national championship. He came with a plan to be a leader. It wasn't my plan, it was his.
Me and Coach, we have a great relationship. It's just something I'm going to cherish because it's the most important thing. This is why I wanted to come to Villanova, just to have a 40-year commitment, not just a 4-year commitment. And I'm just really thankful that I have him by my side and my teammates as well.
I showed the team afterwards, I said, I said, look at this kid. I said, if anybody had a chance of Player of the Year and you had that shot, to pass it up is really showing you how much he cares about his teammates. You know, he's pretty. I think he went out of his way to show his teammates he was not interested in individual accolades this year.
You told me last week in Boston that you're roommates with Jalen Brunson. With all the hardware he's winning right now, do you guys have space in your room to keep all these trophies?
I don't think so. All these awards he's bringing home is going to take up all the room. Me personally, I kind of joke with him about it, and me joking with him about it kind of gets all the laughs out, gets everything out, and then once that's done, his focus is all on us.
The outside gets the perception that we're just so machined and we're so robotic and we don't have any emotion. Like, this is fun. This is really fun to be a part of. I love playing with my teammates. I love, being a part of this program.
Brunson goes down as the first Wildcat to ever win the award, and while very prestigious, knowing Jalen Brunson, this is not the last trophy he wants to hoist this weekend. Villanova chasing that second national championship in the last 3 years.
What a historic season for Jalen Brunson. Just to put this in perspective, folks, the Villanova point guard, just the 4th Big East player to receive the AP National Player of the Year award, and he was named the USBWA Player of the Year.
Yep.
On Sunday, people have been wondering about the Naismith that gets honored on Sunday.
And I think I would say, when you look at the other awards, who else is going to take this from Jalen Brunson? And midway through the season, we were talking about it. Is he, isn't he? Trae Young putting up the points and assists. They made the right call. Jalen Brunson is the National Player of the Year. He will win the Naismith, and it's because of how he controls the game. He makes this Villanova offense tick. He never makes a mistake. It's incredible. It's almost what you don't see makes him such a good player. Because, yes, he's not the flashiest guy, but he controls every basketball game he's in.
We go from one National Player of the Year, we told you there's only been 4 out of the Big East, to another. Catching up and talking Georgetown hoops and more with Patrick Ewing. I am joined by Georgetown head coach Patrick Ewing. And Coach, you know a thing or two about Final Fours. You appeared in 3 of them as a player. What's going through those Villanova players' heads right now, and how do you handle the stage?
Well, you know what? I don't know what's going through their heads, but, I think most of them have been here before. They're well coached. So he's handling whatever nervousness that's going on with them. They're, Brunson has been here also, so he's tempering tempering everything. And I don't think they're going to be nervous. They're going to go out there and perform at their best.
What makes Brunson so good?
He's driven. He's driven. He has courage. He can shoot, he can post, he can pass, he can do a lot of different things.
Let's turn to your team. How would you assess where your program is heading into your first off season here?
15-15. I thought we did pretty good, but we lost some games that we could have won. Happy, sad, whatever you want to call it, but we left some games on, some wins on the floor. We have to look forward to next year, have some good recruits coming in, and just try to use this all season to get better and look forward to next year.
How much do you look to build with Govan and Derrickson, and then, like you just said, get some recruits in your backcourt? Is that really the outlook for you?
Well, not only them. They were our best players, and Pickett has to have a big jump for us. It's going to be a big summer for us.
You told me last summer it could take some time, but you're ready for this challenge. Are you all that much more excited now, having 1 year under your belt, to try to build on this?
Oh, definitely. I'm confident in myself. I have confidence in my assistants. I have confidence in my players, and I have confidence in the university. So, I've been working at this craft for a lot of years, and, I think our future is bright.
Coach, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Let's get to keys to the game and impact players for Villanova. Kansas, Jay, what do you have?
It's got to be Omari Spellman. This freshman has changed the way this Villanova team can play. And you know what? A lot of people look at the three-point shooting and his production on the offensive end. My takeaway from the weekend, Omari Spellman on the defensive end. He had some major blocks last weekend in the East Regional in Boston, and he's got a handful in the post with Azubuike to guard for Kansas. Spellman going to be put to the test, and guess what? He's going to pass it with flying colors. He is beefed up on the defensive end. He is a force inside for this Villanova team, a la Daniel Shefu, what we saw 2 years ago in Houston.
My key is the length on the perimeter, how Mikal Bridges and Svi Mikhailuk impact this game. Bridges actually didn't have quite the offensive performance against Texas Tech. Still always impacts the game defensively, but he's got to be able to find some scoring contribution because Mikhailuk came up with some huge shots for Kansas. So these are two players, 6'7" and 6'8" respectively, that can impact the game in a lot of ways. How do those matchup nightmares play a part?
And of course, we haven't mentioned Devontae Graham and Jalen Brunson. That's the matchup that everybody is talking about. Two of the best guards in the entire country meeting on the biggest stage in college basketball. You have to trust the National Player of the Year, the Big East Player of the Year in Jalen Brunson to make the most of that matchup. Jay Wright says he lives to rise to the highest occasion. Well, guess what? This is it.
And perimeter defense as well, with two teams that average at least 10 threes per game. Get ready for a lot of three-point attempts. Who can close out on those shooters? That's the team that's going to come out on top.
And we have to say it, John, and it sounds simple, but Villanova has to make shots. They didn't do it against Texas Tech. They were only 4 of 24 from 3. Yes, the Wildcats won the game, but guess what? If you make 4 threes against Kansas, you're most likely going to lose. So you have to make shots.
We'll see. They've shown these Villanova Wildcats, they can win games in a variety of ways. We've talked about our keys. What do Bill Raftery and how about this, folks, Charles Barkley, what do these guys think about Villanova? Here they are.
Charles, what do you think makes Villanova so successful? Because they really haven't gone that one-and-done route, but they've won more than anybody the last 5 years.
They redshirt guys, which that's a big event. I didn't actually even know we did a special on them last week. They got like 6 guys who redshirted because these kids ain't ready when they come to college. And y'all sending these little chumps to the NBA, which we're killing our league. These little 18-year-old puppies y'all sending to slaughter. So I actually loved it what Jay is doing. With Villanova, having kids like the one kid, he's just, and he's still skinny too. The Bridges kid, he says his body wasn't ready for college, and the kid took it, and now he's a great player. And I'm happy for Villanova. I think y'all know that my daughter went to Villanova. I've known Jay forever. Me and Jay used to hang together when I first got to Philly, and he's just a wonderful person, and I root for Villanova.
You think they're a blue blood in college basketball now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, they've been a #1 seed probably 5 out of the last 10 years. That's a blue blood, and they've won a national championship. So they're, and the thing is, man, they're great academically. That's one of the things I admire and respect about Villanova.
Here with the governor, Bill Raftery, and coach, Villanova. How has Jay Wright built this program into an absolute powerhouse?
Before I answer the question, did you graduate yet? I know you had you had 2 terms in office, as they would say.
Right. Yeah. I had 2 terms in office. Then last May I did graduate.
Bush and Obama. That's
yeah.
8.
Can you believe Rick Gentile would hire me?
Well, you know, he hired me too, so it's not speaking well for either one of us, I guess. What he's done is amazing, as we all know. What I love most about what he's done is that people in the league feel so happy for him, and generally there's a tendency when a guy wins with the consistency he has that, you know, that maybe they get a little high on their horse kind of, but he's been a great winner and a great loser, and I think he's got respect of the coaches in the league, and certainly nationally he's a treasure now, and fortunately for the conference they have him. But basketball-wise, he's figured out a formula. You know, he's getting kids. I'm sure if a great player decides to go and he becomes a one and done, but I don't think it would be of a consistent basis because they've been able to develop kids, as we know, with Bridges in particular. to the level where they can be in the NBA, and the kids are rewarded. They're going to have a degree and be able to play, which is, that's what it's all about. In a lot of ways, the one and done thing is something that I think is going to be reinvestigated, and maybe the possibility of just eliminating it, which I think will help kids, and it's going to help coaches, and in the long run get kids that aren't ready to prosper academically too.
What do you like the most about Jalen Brunson?
His calm demeanor. Jay always talks about he gets excited, and Jalen's always, okay, coach, we got to relax a little bit. And I think his feel for the game is another thing. The pace he can play at, he can go up and down. He can, bust you a little bit with, being very patient. Of course, the post-up game. But I think his ability to connect with Jay is probably, of all those things, the greatest strength. And anytime you have a guard that is on the same wavelength with the coach as he is, you can make some magic, and they certainly have during his career. But I just think how the two guards run their team. They can't get into a match because both of them are going to get all the awards this year, player of the year, no matter what it might be. So I just think how they run their team is a very important aspect.
What's your trophy case look like?
I don't have one.
What? Broadcasting trophy case?
No, I don't have one.
Seton Hall.
That's overrated. My mother would be upset if I had a trophy case.
Coach, thanks so much.
At Seton Hall, are you kidding me? I didn't have any trophies. They gave me a trophy to leave.
Coach, thanks.
Thanks, John.
Tip-off will be approximately 8:49 or so, and it's on TBS Westwood 1. That's where you can find it, and we'll be with you after the game with interview coverage.
Plenty of it, John, and we've talked a lot about this matchup today, but I had to put the Davy Crockett raccoon skin back on my head because I think something we haven't touched on is the fact that these two teams, they played each other in an Elite Eight game just 2 years ago. This Kansas team, they're going to remember Louisville. They're going to remember the Alamo. Villanova needs to make sure that they're ready because they're going to be the team taking a really good Kansas punch. They beat him 2 years ago. Let's see if Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and Phil Booth can do it again.
I think that explanation explains perfectly why Davy Crockett's hat goes along with Villanova, Kansas. The point is, this is history. This was built in the 18th century, partner. It's a landmark. Let's see if there's more history made tonight by the Wildcats. We'll be with you throughout the rest of the weekend from Texas. Thanks for watching Big East Shootaround.